Hey, this is a quick Saturday night having cocktails with the Ching, I like to call it, because that's what you're about to do, have a fucking cocktail with the Ching. Due to the statute of limitations being way over, I can tell you this little story. It's not a bad story, you know what I mean? Some friends of mine, we were talking in the 79, 80, 81, you know what I mean? When you used to be able to do recycling and pick up newspapers for extra cash, pick up a bouncing job, do something, off the books to make a couple bucks, you know what I mean? Well, there was a rough summer, and a couple friends of mine were out of work for a while. They had worked for a video company, in the old days, the bars would rent a pinball machine, jukebox, and shit like that. And we'll just say amusement company. We won't say the name of it. So they kept their shirts and shit, and they came up with a pretty good scam they ran for a month or two upstate. It seems they would send the one younger brother in with a handful of quarters to play a pinball machine. It's still legal drinking age, And then he'd have a bent quarter. So he'd be at the machine for like 20 minutes, have a couple beers, and all of a sudden, oh, the machine's broken. Now, these were the days before cell phones, fucking Law and Order, SVU, CSI, DB, everything. There were no initials. It was just like cops and, you know what I mean? They didn't even have McGruff, the fucking dog that goes to schools and tells kids to be a rat. You know what I mean? So, the girl, my friend's brother complained to the barmaid, and she came over, put a quarter in, nothing happened. So she gets the number right off the machine, calls the number for the company, And once again, this is the days before cell phones. 5 minutes later, my friend would call the bar and say he's from said amusement company, and they're in the area, and they'll check the machine out. And the two of them would come in with a hand truck and check the machine, we got to bring it back to the shop, we'll be back in an hour with a replacement machine. You do this on a Friday or Saturday night, they're like, well, back then, hey, the pinball machines and the video games brought in a couple bucks, So they would amscray with the machine, being loaded with do-re-mi, all right, quarters, but there was something back then. And then they'd off the machine, Good old American ingenuity. And the statute of limitations is over. One guy's dead. And with my brain, I'm not going to remember the rest of the story tomorrow anyway. So, Law and Order, PSI, Pinball Security, whatever it is, you're not going to get us. You know what I mean? And the other story is, I can't even tell it. So this is just a quickie for tomorrow. I got to look up the legal ramifications of, they say never get friends jobs, you know what I mean? And I worked at this bar and restaurant supply when I was 18 years old, and, when I got into the bike scene, and I got a couple of the guys that I ended up riding with jobs at this bar supply, you know what I mean? And it was like, you don't let guys from Passaic and Patterson loose on a Bergen County, a fucking warehouse full of shit, you know what I mean? So after I look this up tomorrow, I'll do a quick Ching. This is just something for tonight for Pat, you know what I mean? I promised you. And Steve, there will be a more regular morning Ching, and I'm going to post some more shit. You're right. Have a good day, JFD. Hey, look. Have a good night, and welcome to Cocktails with the Ching. Ooh. Ching's a pretty fucked up bartender, you know what I mean? Captain Morgan's, God bless him. See you later.